All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of Traversing the Veil. This is one of my custom D&D shows set in my custom D&D messed up world, and the people both below me and around me for a little bit are the people that have decided that they don't mind if I torture them unmercifully for a couple hours every other week. So, you know, to each their own. Every week I try and come up with a new way to try to convince you guys this might not be the greatest D in the world. And I think I'm really getting through to people now. Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm going to preface this entire thing with I am extremely ill. I have not been able to eat more than like a few hundred calories a day for over a week now. So if the stream ends rather abruptly or anything, that's because my stage health is the term I've heard you used, and it describes it very well. My stage health has said fuck you and left, and that means I will be leaving as well. But as long as I can keep the facade up, I'm going to try and run this game because interacting with real life people is good, even over the videos. Well, positive interactions with real life people.
People, we know you're out there.
Yes.
We remember the before times.
The people.
Hello.
So yeah. But beyond that, a very quick announcement. If you don't watch my YouTube channel, shame on you. It's amazing content. But I recently did my 100th episode of D&D Deep Dive, which is a show I do where I talk about, how to get the most out of your character choices in the 5th edition D&D.
Eat.
And yeah, I was really proud. That particular episode, I found a thing on r/RPG horror stories. And I broke it down and talked about, okay, these are things that could have been done to prevent this from becoming a horror story. Because that's what I did do years and years in retail management to taught me some really great de-escalation techniques. So, yeah. And then doing just stuff like this, especially I used to run at conventions where just random people would show up at your table, and being able to kind of weed out the problem players and deal with them in a positive way meant that you never had to kick someone off of your table, and everybody got to have fun. So check that one out. The one that came out last the Thursday or Wednesday. I actually showed how you could take things from other systems and bring them into 5th edition to add some kind of nuance and new experiences to people. So yeah, check that stuff out. I'm very proud of it. I also put all the episodes of Traversing the Veil and The Legend of the Three Kingdoms up on there as well. So if you miss any of these episodes, you can always catch up on my YouTube channel. They go up on Sundays. So beyond that, does anyone else have something cool going on? I know, Day, you've been doing awesome things. You have balloons.
These are still from my birthday because they just look good on camera. It's like I am in the middle of a week-long charity stream marathon, kind of. With my stream team, Team SideQuest, we are raising money for Heart Support, which is a charity that is all about mental health awareness and providing mental health help to people who can't afford it. So I have like 2 more streams where I'm raising money for that. Yeah, that's what's going on.
Super cool
Nice.
stuff. I have Day and Evan's Twitch channels in chat. So if you don't follow them, you probably should. I know, Evan, you do. Do you stream D&D? I think I've seen you do.
I do two different kinds of streams. I have my own Let's Play series. I'm currently playing Dino Crisis 2. I typically like to play like PS1 and 64 era titles. But then every Sunday at 7, I have my own homebrew D&D campaign called Song of the Wilds. We actually just recently switched to every other week schedule so that we can give all of our players time to recover and also give them a chance to stream their own original things as well. So no campaign this Sunday, but next Sunday we'll be streaming what I believe is episode 38 of our own campaign. So that's going to be exciting.
So yeah, cool stuff happening on an all around. You may also notice that there are two new faces you guys haven't seen. We have rounded out the cast just a little bit with Zarian and Little Lucky are the two new players. They will be introduced during the game. And yeah, you may notice their lips aren't moving. That is because they are ventriloquists. And are very much into their craft. Their lips have not moved in 17 years. Combined, it was 8 years for one and 9 years for the other. But I love just making up random shit.
And that's why you're the DM.
Your job.
No, that's why I'm mentally unstable. The DM thing is just a
We know that's not the reason.
That's just a justification for folks. Yeah, beyond that. Any other fancy things? I think that should do it. So I think it's time to return to traversing the veil. The Tempest's sovereignty can be a tough place to make a living, especially if you weren't born under the right star or to the right parents. Some people are flush with gold and platinum and have nary a care in the world, while others ink out existence as best they can. It's kind of where this crew comes from. They got a captain who got a ship and decided to use it to help her uncover some things that need uncovering, while at the same time keeping her going, exploring. And she's slowly been adding crew to it so it can operate more effectively. A pilot who seems to know a little bit more about the things than any pilot really should. A quartermaster that seems to have quite a few connections to a lot of different groups. And then their newest member, a dragonborn eldritch knight that is very eager and ready to prove herself, but not quite sure of her place in the world yet. Most recently, the crew got together and took a rather simple job transporting someone from Voxus Landing to the capital in Papirius. Though along the way they had to deal with giant monsters from beneath the veil, a criminal conspiracy attempting to steal their passenger, and even a little bit of betrayal. They finally were able to find a place to rest, and were almost ambushed there. But were able to fight off their attackers and make it to Imperius, where they were paid, dropped off their cargo, and the military that are there were kind enough to pay for the repairs for the ship, due to the fact that they were able to root out a few unsavory types. Now, the captain has discovered some new information about people she needs to find. So the crew is gearing up to head to the very edge of this sovereignty, the Skywell, the last stopping place before a huge expanse of the unknown. And that is called the timing. To move things along a little bit, to go from Imperius all the way out to the Skywell is going to take the better part, depending on how the winds favor you, the better part of a month to 2 months, since you're traversing the entirety of the known sovereignty. So,
Yay.
before you guys leave Imperius, were the things you wanted to do there before we go any further?
No, I'm pretty sure we already bought rations for the trip.
Mm-hmm.
I found a zombified member of my former crew. I'm ready to leave. For you, Reggie, that is what I discovered, and that's why we are going.
I do apologize, Captain, for taking a nap the entirety of whatever happened last time. And this one is directed to the DM, because I'm sure you've already spent a lot of time describing this entire town that we're currently docked at right now. I'll just simply ask, is there any kind of leatherworking place or blacksmith or something? Because I think it goes without saying, I need better armor.
Yeah. And Imperius is the capital of the sovereignty. Anything you want, you can find there, and it is all extremely expensive. It's generally very high quality, though. With your background, you would know there are a lot of shops that will sell combat equipment that is meant for nobles that want to look like they know how to fight. And then there are a few places that sell to the military that actually sell quality equipment. So with your background, you would know the difference and be able to find those. It's still massively expensive, though.
This is really the only errand that I have planned. Okay. I'm actually going to head to the shops that have the equipment meant more for actual military use and not just for nobles.
Yeah. But basically, unless you want to do a little bit of haggling, basically multiply any of the PHP prices by 4, and you can get any thing that's in the PHP.
Thanks.
PHP.
Sovereignty capital's expensive.
Basically, any mundane weapons and armor you can buy at 4 times the cost.
Oh, joy.
We did get all that money, though. Can you someone remind us how much money, or let Reggie know how much money we got for... Thank you. You are our note keeper. Treasurer.
Quartermaster, sister, but close enough. He still deals with them money.
Thanks to Kaelwyn's big mouth was the only thing he actually did help us. We went from 50 gold to 200 gold from Artha, and then we got a bonus of 500.
So
wait, so we got 200 and then another 500 on top of that?
Yep.
All right.
Is that already split amongst the 4 of you? Or is
I think we agreed to keep it as a lump sum crew thing, since in case captain's prerogative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, because we can't have you constantly passing out on us in battle. I authorize you to use some of our recent earnings to get better armor.
Thank you much kindly, Captain. Now, I do promise you I will not completely splurge on this. I just need one bit of armor, and I will come right back. I feel your eyes out the back of my head, Smeggy. I say as I just walk away from the crew into town.
And Spitwits.
Okay. So where you guys are currently is you're actually in the military dock section, which is beneath the city itself. So there are shops that sell exclusively to, or almost exclusively to the military, because of Arthur. You guys have been given permission to shop from them, which are the ones you want to shop with. So you don't even have to go into the city proper. You can just be, you're effectively, I don't know how familiar you guys are with military bases, but they're their own kind of cities. And this is kind of where you guys are. They have their own inns. They have their own blacksmiths and all that stuff like that.
There's a term for shopping in the military. I can't remember what the term is for that.
Commissary.
Is it commissary? There's another term I'm thinking of.
That's always what it was. Shopping at the commissary was what it was always told to me. I've never lived on a base, or no, I personally haven't. But both my parents, my dad's former military, or my dad was former military, and they were both military brats, so they grew up on bases. Anyway, so that's just kind of where you are. You're in your own little mini town inside the sovereignty. So, with that knowledge, what did you want to pick up?
Is there would these shops catering to the military have anything? Is it just like standard equipment that they make for all general troops and such, or do they have some like a specialty section or something? I guess I'm asking.
It defines this as specialty. If you're looking for magic items, you're not going to find them here. You might be able to find them in the city proper, but again, that's going to be very, very expensive here.
Yeah, something tells me I don't want to make my crew wait that long for me.
You guys, because it took a few days to make the repairs on the ship, so you actually have a few days of downtime to do whatever you want. The rest of the crew was able to do that last session, so think about this not as 5 minutes to go get something. You've got 3 days of shore leave, effectively.
Yeah, like Smegwick had ran an errand.
Then if that's the case, I am gladly going to go deeper into town. In fact, I think I might actually check out that place that sells to the nobles.
Sure. There are Imperius is a massive city. There are basically like kind of airship taxis that can take you between different kind of sectors of the city that are that are run for free of charge. But it's effectively like a big train system without tracks. So, what specifically are you looking for?
I'm looking for something that's not necessarily a magical piece of armor, but definitely something that could be considered a step above studded leather.
So there is a term in 5th edition for high quality common goods, which is called masterwork. Masterwork effectively, like a masterwork sword, you would get +1 to your attack and the damage rolls, just like a +1 sword. It's just not a magic weapon. And the same thing would be true about masterwork armor, and that you can get from the military. So.
Oh, then back to the military. Then
okay,
yeah, I'm definitely looking for some masterwork like leather armor.
Okay, so multiply studded leather, which I believe is 25. What is it?
45.
45. So yeah, multiply that by 4, which brings you up to 180. And then add 100 gold on top of that for the masterwork.
So 200. So 280.
Yeah, yes.
Is that a custom thing in your world, Jody? Because I know Masterworks is a previous edition.
Masterwork is in the DMG, I believe.
Masterwork?
Yeah. I know I've read it. I can't remember which book. It might be the PHB, but Masterwork is a thing in 5th edition.
Okay.
Before I say yes to this Masterwork, out of the lump sum of money that we got, how much money would Reggie have gotten from the good captain?
Oh, I mean, since it's like 3 days, I would say like if you did a scout to see the costs.
Oh, like you came back with a price?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
To see how much you would need, and then came back for it.
Yeah, I talked to the merchant. Just one moment, please. And I just run out the store, back to the pier, and like I run back to the captain. Captain, you'll be happy to know I found a piece of armor just my size, definitely leagues above what I'm wearing right now. And with your permission, the cost is 280. I'm happy to use my own funds if the need arises.
I would like to inquire as to how much you already have.
I quickly look to everyone, and then I get very close to the captain, and I try to do this so that only the captain can hear. And I just say, I got about 500 on me, and there's plenty more where that came from.
I tell Reggie to give him 100.
That is mighty kind of you, Captain. I will be right back. And I just walk right off again. And just for sake, let's just say I got the armor. So
Yeah. No.
600 minus 280.
Maybe they don't have. I could have sworn. I gotta look it up. I could have sworn they had a masterwork in 5th edition, but I'm not finding it. But yeah, it's something that has existed since 2nd or the 3rd edition. And
I remember it from previous edition and Pathfinder.
So yeah, we just it's cheaper than a magic item, but it doesn't get around resistance to non-magic weapons, and it's not immune to being destroyed like a magic suit of armor would be. So
Okay, so I buy myself one of those.
good, cool.
So for technically speaking, what would I be then adding to my actual inventory on my character sheet? Like, what exactly am I looking for?
Studded leather, and then in D&D Beyond, you can modify items on your character sheet and just add a +1 to it.
Okay.
We can deal with that in between sessions if you're having difficulty with it. Did you just
You can also modify your AC itself if you click the AC.
Yeah, but that means once he gets rid of it, he has to remember to decrease.
Change it back.
So I prefer to modify the armor than the AC.
Well,
if you guys do get into combat before tonight's over, we'll just remember your AC is 1 higher.
Well,
Why would we do that?
Well, just to get the math part over with, currently studded leather has a normal AC of 12, so my normal AC right now is 14. So, but if this is going to be a masterwork studded leather, what would you say the AC I have now?
It goes up to 15. It's just one more. It would be this is the same as if you were wearing magic studded leather. And if it's easier, just add +1 studded leather, and we'll just remember it's non-magical.
Gotcha.
You can add a note in it if you want.
Yeah, it's this is simple.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else for the shopping episode?
I mean, I know we have some of the fancy stuff to like. If we just need like normal stock up stuff
For the,
for
for the most part, I will have you guys keep track of ration amounts simply because money is kind of a thing. I won't make you keep track of ammo or anything like that because that's just annoying as this is hell. And part of your deal with the military is they were going to stock you with rations. So getting all the way out to the Skywells, you don't have to pay any money for the rubber rations to get out there.
and we also got 1 month from Bidwin.
Yes. So you guys are theoretically when you get to this is Skywell, you will have about a month of rations a little left.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Right now, yeah.
Thing else?
Well, right now, he's spec because we've kind of been on a shoestring budget. So right now, he's like Pendleton from Charlotte's Web, going food, glorious food. Yeah, aside from that one little errand I had to run, I'm good.
All right, cool. Then you guys all get back on your ship. The captain has already kind of informed you guys of what she found and the note with the address that was on the Skywell, and you guys headed off to the Skywell. Again, you guys have a 2-month-long journey to get there. So over those 2 months, do you guys have things that you want to be doing on the ship, like training or tinkering or, you know?
I definitely want to train.
Okay. And obviously, over those 2 months, you know, Aoi, that would be enough time for you to get a little bit more familiar with how the ship works and the various different parts, since you have relatively limited experience this is sailing. So by the time you get to this is Skywell, you'll be very comfortable on the ship. Anything else? Normally I would do, you know, role playing and stuff like that, but I hate having players just sitting waiting for their characters. So you guys won't get attacked by a giant monster trying to eat the ship this
None of
time.
that. No dragons, no men on dragons flying down.
No, we'll wait until after we get someone else. So.
Times were hard for Aragon when the Inheritance books ended.
You know, I mean, you think you can kind of bank on your celebrity status forever, and it just dries up. You know?
Nope, go right to reality shows.
I would just like to. I would just like
the Real
to say
Housewives of Exelos, and
I'd watch it.
Yeah.
I would just like to say that for Reggie specifically, whenever he's on shift, just piloting the boat, making sure everything is going well, during those calm nights when things are pretty much taken care of, he would put on little performances for the crew, playing his violin for everyone, just to bring some entertainment and such, to make things a little bit more lively. But I would like to point out that whenever he's not on the clock, he would retreat down to the cargo hold where he's got his little sleeping area set up. He refuses to be in his own quarters. He just has a hammock set up in a corner of the cargo hold. Whenever he's in there, he doesn't let anyone else in. He is very, very private during this time.
okay.
Yeah, have you ever told anyone why you don't sleep in your quarters?
I prefer the big open spaces.
I mean, if you're claustrophobic, there's nothing to be ashamed of.
No,
I knew guys like that.
Nah, it's not that. But you don't have to worry about it. And he would just shut the door.
Now, I will say, the cargo area does not have doors you can shut.
Oh, okay.
It is a
You're out in the
massive
open.
deck. You know, it is basically the entire lower to the deck. So you might be able to hang curtains or things like that to give you some more, or stack boxes in that. But you would not have doors, especially not for the entire cargo area.
Oh, I thought there was a door that would go into that room that would be considered like that entire lower deck area.
There is a door way, but there's no door hung in it. If we if we actually go to the cargo deck, you can see the stairs down, just come directly down into the cargo deck. The kitchen, which is in the northern part of it, that actually has double doors, but they don't lock. They're just swinging doors. They help to keep the heat and the fire from getting to the, cargo.
Then just for continuity's sake, I'll say, like, during his time, ever since he joined the crew, he's rearranged all of the boxes there so that he kind of basically has his own, like, fort, like, just tucked away in the corner of the cargo. And he's got, like, a curtain set up, he's got a hammock, and he's got, like, his own little storage area.
So
just every so often, Smegwick comes down and he takes, stock of things. He's just like,
you built a blanket fort. All right.
You want a couple blankies to put on top? Sport, you want to?
While we are on this journey, the captain practices her whittling skills at night.
Okay. You're able in 2 months, especially with just how quiet. Like you've been on the Vale for a while now, and something that seems the more time that passes on this trip, the more kind of unsettled you start feeling. But because there's always something happening on the Vale. There are rogue storms, or you will pass by to trading ships, or sometimes you'll have to deal with pirates. And sometimes the pirates will try to attack. Sometimes they'll just kind of, hey, you look poor and not worth the effort. You guys have discovered nothing on your entire trip.
Weird.
Sailing has been smooth. There's been no contact with anyone else. You literally have had no issues whatsoever.
Oh, this is so boring!
Yes, the only thing worse is hearing you complain about it!
Listen, after the last adventure, I'm good with some quiet.
Here.
Amen to that. Takes a drink.
All right. Oh, I meant to do this so you guys could actually see the cargo deck.
There it is.
Going back to the big map. Yes. So you guys eventually come to the Skywell, and the docking itself. The docking fee is 2 gold, which is fairly standard for, especially for a ship your size. You don't need an incredibly large berth for it. This is a Skywell itself is very different from Voxus Landing. While Voxus Landing is, in a word, thriving, where there's just always something going on, and there's always people moving around. The Skywell is much more kind of laid back. There are a fair amount of people there, though it's nowhere near as large as Voxus Landing. But everyone seems a little bit slower. Like, time just seems to lag a little bit there. People tend to walk leisurely where they're going. And it's very easy to spot the people that do not spend a lot of time around the Skywell, because they're still on what the locals call Tempest time. They're still walking around fast and, running and talking constantly. They haven't quite settled into the more lazy effort.
Just envisioning someone with kind of like a Maine accent. Where you going there, sport?
Kind
Where's
of.
the fire?
It's literally at the very edge of this is a sovereignty, and it is one of the main places where expeditions out into the southern outlands for map making or for trying to find new resources and things like that. They all start in this is Skywell. So you have kind of this combination of people that just want to be away from the busyness of the core, combined with people that are looking for exploration to the unknown and to the things like that. So it's kind of an interesting dichotomy of people there.
Is there also a slice of the citizenry that comes out here to get away from the main core
people that are
influence?
trying not to be found sometimes will go to the Skywell, but they generally have a better time in Ebbia or Vox's Landing. Vox's Landing is a really great place to get lost because of how much happens there and because of how little a presence the military and law enforcement has there.
So Fox's Landing is more of a hive of scum and villainy than
A
Skywell.
little bit more. Vox's Landing is ruled by 6 barons.
Yeah. 'Cause that's where Smegwick was.
Yep. So money talks and money says a lot there. Ebbia is more of the hive of scum and villainy, because it's run by criminal organizations. So
That's where the Hutts live. Okay.
yeah, Huts are from
but
Ebbia. The Trade Federation is from Vox's Landing.
Yeah, we are not going to Ebbia.
Well, you know people there.
Oh, look, is that Skywall?
So, as you guys get off, there are a few taverns and inns here, though not nearly as many as you would see, really just about anywhere else, because so many people come to Skywell, either live there permanently or are just passing through on an expedition. There's not a ton of industry here that's made for tourism. So, what would you all like to do?
Now, see, if we're here, this is where you want to get your deals on shopping, because they don't charge you those exorbitant prices like they did back at the Capitol.
Well, we couldn't be sure that we wouldn't be attacked on the way, and it's better
Yeah.
to be safe than sorry. So
Yeah, fair.
I guess I should
Yeah,
look
because it's
for
kind of your.
anyone I recognize. I mean, all I got was a note in my pocket that said "help."
And there's an address
Oh,
on
right.
the note.
Well, I guess we should look for this address.
Okay. So finding it is not difficult. The people around tend to be relatively helpful. You guys haven't had any issues with getting information, though it comes a little slower than you're used to.
Okay.
And yeah, the address leads to a home on towards the edge of the Skywell. And as you get there, you notice that there's no one really around when you get there. Again, it's not a massively populous station, but the closer you got to this address, the less people you started to seeing. And by the time you got to the point where you could see this little, and it's really not much more than maybe a hut, large enough to have like maybe one or two rooms in it, and that's it.
Okay.
And there's no one around you currently.
I stay on my guard and look
Well,
out
I'm
for...
presuming I'm presuming we're with
Yeah,
you.
I presumed as well.
Okay.
I stay on my guard and keep an eye out for anything suspicious.
All right.
I know that's kind of weird. So is the neighborhood kind of abandoned, or is it like?
It doesn't look abandoned. Like there's no broken windows or anything like that.
Okay.
There is no movement. Most of
Because
the
for an instant, for a second, I was kind of getting a. I don't know if you know the movie reference, Jim Cotta.
That's not what I'm. Oh no, I know that one.
The Village.
I haven't seen it, so I'm not getting that particular reference, but I do know the movie. But no, it doesn't look like it's abandoned or anything like that. It's there's just literally no one there.
Usually, a place like this would you'd think it'd be a little bit more active. Although maybe we're in one of the quiet neighborhoods.
Does it feel eerie, like the ship felt eerie, like that alley felt eerie, or it's just void of people?
There is like a slight tingling at the base of your skull that doesn't feel quite right. You know that just kind of edgy feeling you get when you're in a place that doesn't feel safe.
Yeah. All right. I turn to the rest of my crew and I'm just like, stay on your guard. And it's like a hut. You said, like, is there a door to knock on? Is there
there's it's a kind of really standard little house. The whole area you're in looks like a small little subdivision. Some of the houses are a little bit bigger, some are a little smaller, but this one in particular is one of the smallest in this little area. It's got a little doormat, and it's got a door. It's got one window on the front, though there are curtains on the inside that are obscuring anything on the inside.
How close are the nearest buildings?
Relatively close, probably within about 10 feet. Like each house only has about 10 foot of space outside the house. They're kind of packed in a little tightly. There's a few that have like larger areas, but because this is an artificial station as opposed to like land, they don't have like yards or anything like that. So there's not a whole lot of reason to give people extra space.
There's one guy way over there. He's got nothing but fake grass turf.
Yeah.
Plastic, bright, vibrant green.
Well, yeah, I knock on the door to see if anyone's home.
As you knock on it, the knock itself kind of echoes.
Ooh.
Are there windows to peek around? Is there a way to like?
There's a
reconnaissance?
single window on the front, and again, there's curtains blocking you from seeing inside.
Is the door locked?
Yeah, I'll check the door.
As you turn the handle, click, it opens.
I proceed with caution.
Real quick before we go in, hey Spitty, go check out the back.
Oh yeah, good, solid.
Yeah, he flies around. He's back within 5 seconds. Like it is such
I was looking through his eyes.
Yeah, it was such a small thing. It has 4 walls. It has a roof. It looks like the roof connects to all 4 walls.
Was our back door?
Nope.
Great.
Only one way in, one way out.
There is a chimney. So obviously there's some sort of fireplace or something, maybe a stove.
Big chimney or like one of those little.
Small. Everything about this is kind of small.
Okay.
It looks a little bit closer to a stovepipe than a chimney, but
Is there smoke coming out the chimney?
no.
I will proceed. I want us in like a lot. Like, I don't want maybe someone stand at the doorway so we can't get ambushed, and then we'll proceed. And if it's tiny, we can cover searching it quickly. And I go in and search.
As you open the door, there's a little bit of resistance. and you push a little bit harder, and the door itself creaks and whines as you push in, almost like the door hadn't been opened in years. As you push in, you have to kind of back out for a second as cobwebs kind of fall off of the door. As you fully open the door and step in, the first thing you have to do is kind of suppress a cough as dust is just kind of kicked up. The room that you will walk into is a nice kind of small, efficiency style room where you can see there's a bed in the corner. There's a desk in there. On the other side, you can see a wood-burning stove and some shelving or counters nearby it, and then there's a door in the back to what you assume to be a privy, maybe a chamber pot or something like that. There's a thick layer of dust on everything. Though you do see at the desk, the desk is kind of stacked with books and papers and other things like that. You also see what looks like a compass, as in compass.
Yeah. Can I would like to look at the compass without touching it, or like see if it's pointing at a direction. Look for clues.
The compass itself is just kind of lying on the table.
Okay.
It almost looks like someone had been using it and had just, set it down to go do something else.
Mm-hmm.
Snake would want to use his mage hand and start picking up books and bring them over and look, and then thumbing through because he's like, books, mine.
Yeah.
So as your mage hand clasps around the first book, it vanishes. The mage hand.
What the?
That never happened before.
Reggie, you got detect magic?
Do I have detect magic?
I don't.
I don't have detect magic. I have a new spell called detect thoughts, but not detect magic.
Well, if you want to read the thoughts of the books.
Yeah, maybe it, has some.
I thought someone did.
Not in this campaign, I don't. Ooh.
I have not learned that yet.
You do notice, because I believe Mage Hand is a concentration spell, or no?
It's not a concentration, because it's a cantrip.
There are concentration cantrips.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it lasts for 1 minute.
So, with your experience in spellcasting, you've had your spells countered, and you've had your spells dispelled before. This feels very, very similar to that. Like if you had sent your mage hand into like an anti-magic field or something like that. It just stopped existing once it got to touch the book.
Well, something's magical over there.
Or not magical.
I walk over and I pull out my rapier, and keeping a fair distance, I just kind of wave the tip at the books.
Make me a Constitution saving throw with a disadvantage.
Oh,
Why? Why?
You'll find out once we
Yeah, I was
find out
like, my
what you
guess is that you'll
rolled.
find out.
oh no.
That's 8.
8. Yeah, as you wave the rapier, you kick up this rather large cloud of dust, and are incapacitated for a couple seconds as you just.
But am I still able to see? Like, did it touch the books? Did it just go right through them?
You said you waved it over it, so you didn't touch it.
No, I was actually trying to touch them this whole time, like through the books or at the books.
Oh, well, you said you waved it around.
Yeah.
And you kicked up a
Oh, I did? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you kicked up a bunch of dust. If you try to touch them, they seem physical. Like you poke them a little bit, they seem to work.
Okay. So
Though
they
as
don't
you-
let.
The light touch that you press, they seem heavier than you would think because they don't really move as you poke them with the rapier. However, with it being a rapier and with them being books, you know if you apply too much pressure, you will simply skewer them as opposed to moving them. So, if you would like to skewer them, you can.
I don't think my good friend Smeggy would appreciate that so much. So I pocket the rapier.
So he just goes over and he's like,
As you
because one of us has the hit points.
as you touch the book, you can feel kind of an almost static charge that goes up your arm a little bit, but that's it. It's not painful. It's just it's just you can tell there's some sort of energy.
A type of discharge.
Like if you've
Well, what
ever
is
put
it-
your hand on one of those static orbs,
Yeah.
kind of weird, tingly feeling.
Yeah.
What?
But
What's the title of the book? Like, what is the book?
it's a leather-bound book. Without like picking it up and opening it.
Oh,
You
I'm
can't
opening
really
it now.
pick Oh, okay. As soon as you pick it up, you guys hear this ear-shattering scream,
Solid.
and you feel this kind of wave of thunder energy just wash over all of you. I need con saves from all of you.
Oh god, we just awoken the Book of Claw. Alright. What
Then you
kind
see
of
the
save?
words "did a death note" on it. Con save, please.
No.
I got a 10.
All right.
I
That's
got an 8.
I got a 5.
okay.
What save is it?
Good Constitution.
Okay. Oh, natural 19. 26.
Yeah, you're fine. So,
So it's like the Addams Family. I just open it up and a friggin' storm blasts me in the face.
not quite.
Sick.
Karen, Reggie, and Smegwick. You guys take 7 thunder damage as the thunder wave hits you and knocks you all back to 10 feet.
Not again!
Owie, you take 3 damage and are not knocked back as you brace yourself for the thunder waves as a spell.
Got it.
Owie, since you are the only person still there, you see the glyph fade underneath the book that was just moved.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I figured, was it from opening the book or was it from moving the book?
When you lifted it up, because the first thing you described to me is I touched the book. And so when you touched it, you felt the little thing. As soon as you picked it up, thunderwave.
Yeah.
In one of my stories, there would be a card deck in here. And a tiny little,
I have a
Bear
deck of
things.
cards here. It's really... It's,
Smegwick for a couple of seconds is just going, it's just Archer. It's going, ma, ma, ma.
it's a really cool deck of cards, as you can see. There's many things in it.
no, not that kind of deck, Jody.
You keep that.
As
abomination
this
of the
is
away from me.
happening, Zarian and Lucky, you guys have been on the Skywell this time for about a month now. You tend to kind of get hired off to various expeditions that are exploring, and you sometimes make decent money. Sometimes you have to kind of accept payment in a percentage of whatever they find, which sometimes is nice and sometimes is nothing. But the past month or so here, work's been kind of dry. It's not that people haven't been going out on expeditions. It's just no one has been hiring you. And you've been trying to rack your brain as to why. And thus far, nothing has jumped out. You know, you bathe regularly, you know, you're fairly well kept, but you just, no one seems to be saying yes. And there's not a ton of cartographers on the Skywell. So it's not like the work isn't there. You just can't seem to get a job. So this particular morning, your savings funds have just about dried up at this point. And you used the little amount of money you have left. You've used a portion of it to give yourself a nice breakfast. Lucky, I'm not sure how much or if you eat.
No.
Yeah. So it's just Zarian eating something and Lucky kind of going behind. But as you guys are just kind of wandering around, trying to figure out what you're going to do today, maybe come up with some sort of idea as to how you can make a little bit of money, you hear this ear-shadowing loud eruption from one of these smaller subdivisions, about 1,000 feet away from you guys, where you guys are. And Zarian, you instantly recognize a thunder wave. This is a spell going off. What would you two like to do?
Well, Lucky, that can mean one of two things. We're under attack, or we finally get some excitement.
Finally, I'm bored.
Alright. I say we go that way. Gerald, go first. I'll make sure Gerald's a good 30 feet in front of me, and I'll be about 30 feet behind Lucky.
Okay.
You guys lead the way.
So, but back to Karen, Reggie, and Sissus Megwick. You guys are blasted out the door.
I figured I hit a wall or something.
And kind of land on top of each other because there's a small doorway. And as you guys are getting up, to start with Zarian, what do they see as Gerald approaches them? Go ahead and describe Gerald and then describe your self.
You would see a construct of sorts about 6 feet flat. Normal, for all better purposes, just looks like a generic construct you've seen in the past, but the only difference is he is missing a head, and where his head would be is it's just this static, like cheap hologram is the way to describe it, of a male human face, just always smiling. And then Zarian, you would see just a rather shorter than normal Earth Genasi, if you're familiar with Earth Genasi. Slate gray skin that in the right lights you kind of see that it looks like it could be stone, but knowing how Earth Genasi work, it's not. It just looks like stone. Mm-hmm. Scale mail armor with bandoliers of just various trinkets, devices, all scattered around, with a gigantic backpack that's probably the size of him, if not a little bit shorter. Just kind of walking along with a crossbow at the ready, but the crossbow itself doesn't have a string or the crossguard at the front. It just looks like a rubber band gun of sorts.
And between the hologram robot, the thing, and Zarian, is Lucky. Lucky, go ahead and describe your self.
You see the better part of 8 foot tall, warforged, where the equally as long halberd in hand. He has a plate armor that is fused to his body, and you see etched into the chest plate of the armor is what looks like a lighthouse, and with an eye right where the light would be, There is a single like red I guess sash going off on the right shoulder. And there is the eyes in the mouth. There's no eyes or pupils or anything. They're just hollow and empty. And just walking with halberd in hand.
And you guys would all know that the symbol, the lighthouse with the eye where the light would be coming out, is the symbol for the guiding beacon, who is the deity that oversees the portfolio of light.
Okay.
So as you guys are on the floor, Lucky and Caesarian, as you guys come out, you see these three people kind of chilling there. You see a half-orc barbarian, a goblin, and a half-elf, just kind of tangled up with each other. The goblin is kind of hitting his ear and keeps moving his jaw around, trying to pop his ears. And they both kind of, all three of them kind of stare at you.
Get off me, get off me, get off me.
I scramble and try and dust myself off and get on guard in case these are enemies.
Good.
I am right now hearing nothing except a high-pitched whine. It's like that moment in war movies just after the explosion where you just hear nothing but that squeal and everything else is just muffled.
Yup.
Gee, are we killing them?
I don't know. What exactly happened?
Who are you? Do you live here? Is this your home?
Baby, who are you?
Who are you?
I asked you first.
I asked you second.
It's first come before second, I forget.
I mean, technically it's first or second the best, so she's got you there.
Cody, did I manage to hold on to the book when we flew out?
Make me a dexterity, just a flat dexterity check.
Oh, just dexterity, not saving. Okay.
Just dexterity.
15.
15. Yeah, you were able to hold it, though. It physically hurt to do so. Like your fingers are sore.
Well, I would say that this very loud sound interrupted our breakfast, so we were intrigued, and we find you all on the ground.
Yes, I was told to come to this address and found it abandoned like this, and was worried for my companions who I was supposed to be meeting here, and investigated in case they were in trouble, and instead we all got blown backwards by that book.
It was really loud! And Reggie's just like screaming that because to him everything else is like deafened.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Aoi, now that you've kind of recovered, you hear Reggie screaming, "It was really loud!" And you notice that there are other people outside with the rest of your party.
They got beaten by a book.
Man,
It was a glyph underneath the book, smart guy.
are you guys okay? Oh, may we help you?
And you see this very kind of small, innocent-looking dragonborn come out. You can see on her hip is a rapier with a jewel embedded in the handle. And she just has this kind of disarming air about her.
Yeah, I'm really confused.
Well, I told you what we were doing here, so if you're confused still, that's that.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. And I'm like, can I use my mage hand now to lift the book up, or is it still like, no?
Yeah, as you cast the mage hand, as you kind of try to grip the book with it, again, disappears.
It nothing.
Yeah, that's pretty odd.
That's weird.
I don't know anything about magic.
Me neither.
Well, I know what I don't have, and that's dispel magic.
I don't think any of us have dispel magic.
I push Reggie a little farther away from us all.
I mean,
Indoor
I've-
voices.
I've been here
Indoor
for
voice, please, Reggie.
been here
What?
for the better part of a month.
Mage hand smacks Reggie in the back of the head.
This
Ah.
time, the mage hand doesn't disappear. Apparently, Reggie's head doesn't dispel mage hand.
Oh, you hitting this one?
No, Lucky, no.
Okay.
I mean,
To give you guys a visual perspective, my guy would be roughly about dwarf height, not like normal or Earth Genasi. So, I've been here for the better part of a month, and I haven't seen or heard any excitement like this.
Excitement
curious.
seems to follow us around.
yeah, excitement.
Hey, we should go with them.
Do you guys know the people that live here?
I imagine we don't.
As far as you know, you've never met anyone from this particular neighborhood, and that particular home, you've gone past it a few times. You've never seen anyone live there.
Yeah, I mean,
You personally thought it was abandoned. Or to your knowledge, it was abandoned.
I kind of hate to suggest this, but I think I motion everyone's like, I'm gonna walk about 20 feet that way, and I'm gonna try to open the book.
When he relays the information that they've never seen anyone, Karen's gonna kind of just curse and kick rocks in frustration.
Spitwit is gonna fly. Spitwit, the little pseudo dragon, is gonna fly over and land on Karen's shoulder, staring at Smegwick as he walks 20 feet this way, and.
the always reckless.
And
Yeah.
opens it away from him. Like, ah!
You hear the binding crack a little bit. Some pages rustle. No explosions.
Eh.
As
All
you
right, well,
are you looking at it now, or?
Yeah, Spitwit is like,
Okay. As you turn it over and you look at the pages,
Smegwick walks back.
there. No, you don't. Not yet. Let me finish describing.
Okay.
So as you open it up and you look at the pages, you notice there is some writing there, which at first you're kind of reading it, and it seems to make sense. It seems narrative almost, like you're reading prose. But the more you read, the less sense it makes, and it starts turning into the things like,
All work and no
monkey,
play,
car, skirble, durble, neeby, stupidoopadoo, namagoo, and the more you read, it stops forming words and things like that, and you just are kind of hearing these sounds in your head as if you're reading it. And I need a wisdom saving throw.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, hey, luckily, someone in chat last game gave us some chat inspiration. I have two. I'm going to use one of them.
Is he within 10 feet of me, Jody?
No, he walked to 20 feet away.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Let me just mark that off.
The book slowly starts to say, "All work and no play make Jack a dull boy."
Wisdom saving throw, you said?
Wisdom save, yep.
And I'm going to use that with advantage thanks to my inspiration. 15.
15. All right. As you are reading this book, your head starts to hurt. You just get this tiny, pinprick of pain above your left eye for a moment, and it gets larger, and it feels like this kind of rift going back through your skull. And you turn the page, and you read more. And now, it's not even in the nonsense words. Now this feels like you're reading something, but it's in a language you don't understand. You don't speak it, you don't read it, you've never heard of it, but you feel this compulsion to continue reading. And you do. And you flip to the next page. And every
my
page
nose
you
bleeding?
flip. Not quite yet. But
Does
every-
he, with his head hurting, is he like making noises like this or no?
Captain, I think we might have a My Precious situation right here.
So what happens, what the rest of you guys see is you see him go, ugh! And as he opens the book, there's nothing on any of the pages. It is a completely blank book.
Oh!
And when he turns it around, you see him kind of running his finger across it like he's reading something on the blank book. And then you watch him, his eye kind of twitches a bit, and then he turns up a page, and you see moisture start forming in moisture start forming in the corner of his eyes. And he kind of blinks, and you see a single tear goes down, and he does another one. And as he flips the third page, you see him start mumbling. And you're not quite sure.
Can I walk over and just like smack the book out of his hand?
Okay. As you get close to him, you feel this chill run down your spine. You feel that same feeling that you felt when you were in the alley. And I need a con save.
16 plus 5, so 21.
Yeah, you feel all of your muscles seize for a moment.
Great.
And you just go, what the? And you kind of break out of it. As you got about 10 feet from him, you felt your muscles seize, and you just kind of shake it off. As you get closer, you feel this kind of nauseous feeling in the pit of your stomach.
Can I stop moving at that and like try and knock the book out with my spear? Just like...
Sure. As you attempt to knock it out, his arms go down with it. Like he has a death grip on this book currently.
Guys, a little help. Don't get near it. Don't get near it.
Am I speaking in this gibberish language, or am I like just making noises?
At this point, you are mumbling something under your breath. So unless they get like closer than 5 feet,
I might have an idea. Jody.
Mm-hmm.
Could I possibly use knock to try and like knock the book out of his hands?
Okay.
Would something like that possibly work?
So knock will unlock doors or magically lock the doors. That's what this spell does, to my knowledge.
Could it unlock his hands from the book?
Due to the fact that I've never had anyone to try that, go ahead and make me a spell attack roll, and I'll give you advantage because that is a very creative use of the spell knock. And theoretically, it does move physical things. Like it will open a mechanical lock. So let's.
Okay, so spell attack with advantage. You said.
Yeah. Yes. So.
Okay, that didn't work. And okay, so with advantage, my spell attack is +7, so that's 21.
21. Okay, so as you sit there and you're just trying to figure out what to do, and you went knock. You kind of sit there and you focus. And generally, when you use the knock spell, you kind of focus on the lock, and in your mind's eye, you just kind of visualize yourself turning a key and unlocking the door, or the opposite, turning a key and unlocking it. Where there's no lock here. So as you sit there kind of focusing, you just kind of, in your mind's eye, you see this key, but the key you just kind of push into the book itself and turn it, as if you were unlocking it in your mind's eye.
What are Smegswick's fingers if not just a fleshy pins of a lock
Sure.
on the book?
And as you do that, I need a wisdom save.
What? Even though I'm so far away?
Yes, connecting with
tough
a
stuff.
magic item, using a magic spell to do something to it has consequences.
Oh crap! That's a 12.
12, cool.
Am I the only one that has inspiration left? I have one left.
I have
Um,
some.
I run.
You take 13 points of psychic damage as the book kind of attacks you. You, again, just in your mind's eye, you see this kind of bolt of psychic energy come and just hit you in the head. But as that happens, the book releases itself because Smegwick, as you see after this, Smegwick's not holding the book. The book is holding Smegwick. And it
Oh, no.
releases Smegwick.
Oh, I thought
and
it pulled me.
No. It releases Smegwick and drops to the ground, moving about 2 feet closer to Reggie.
I cast firebolt on it.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll for that. As this is happening, Smegwick, you feel the book. You feel yourself let go of the book, and all of your muscles are just off, and you collapse into a puddle of your self.
That's
Am I conscious or did I just?
The world goes black.
Yay! Again, awesome.
You have all your hit points. Yeah, as you sit there and you shoot your firebolt at it, as it hits the book, you guys hear this sound of like thunder and lightning as it impacts the book.
Very,
And
very
you see
frightening.
a small scorch mark on the cover of the book, but compared to what you suspected, normally shoot a firebolt, burn a book. Like it's a pretty not common. But it's a pretty simple thing to do. This book did not erupt into flames or anything. It just took damage.
While the book's on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
can I want to cast catapult and fling it away from us back into the building while we think about what we want to do.
Sure.
Cast it at a higher level if I have to. That's 5
What,
pounds and then 10 pounds.
Yeah, it's less than 5 pounds. Is there any attack roll or anything you need to do for catapult, or is it just will work?
Well, I choose an object, and then that object flies in a straight line 90 feet away, and then whatever, if someone's in the way, then they make a dex save.
Okay.
But I'm not aiming at somebody. I'm just
There's enough of a path that you can get it into the building without too much difficulty. Though I will have you make a wisdom save as your spell connects.
Oh, I think we lost Lucky.
Bye, Lucky. We'll see you soon.
Oh,
Lucky
dear.
deactivated. Lucky deactivated.
It happens.
17.
Yeah. You as you connect with the book, you take 3 points of psychic damage as it attacks you as you throw it into the house. As you do, there's this kind of big rush of wind, and the door of the little hut is blown shut again. So
Okay, that is
Scary.
weird.
forgive our kind of crazy layout the thing. I wasn't smart enough to set up a layout for 5 players, so we're all kind of in weird places. Lucky is currently dealing with rolling blackouts, so he will hopefully be back relatively soon. Please just ignore the fact that you can't see any of us, or you can see pieces of us in different places.
Yeah.
We're all still here. I promise.
I was gonna have Lucky go over to Smegwick, but I guess I'll have Gerald go over instead
Okay.
and just kind of make sure Smegwick is breathing.
Smegwick seems fine. He seems to just be in kind of a light sleep. Like he's not even like unconscious. He just looks almost like he's napping.
Gerald will turn back and just give me a thumbs up. Right. Well, that's about the most excitement I've had in a long time.
You're welcome.
Smegwick, you start hearing things around you a little bit. You kind of blink and you see this strange metal creature missing a head. That's kind of facing you, but is turned a little bit and is giving a thumbs up to the remarkably short Genasi.
The static image doesn't. If you were looking at it from the side, it would just look like a flat piece of paper.
Like Paper Mario.
Yeah, kind of.
I don't
So
want to
right now, it just looks like it's headless.
Oh, God!
You okay?
What happened?
Oh. Am I speaking words now?
You're doing all right, Smegwick.
I swear to God, if you keep yelling, I'm gonna Eldritch Blast you in the face.
He's not yelling anymore, but you do see that his face looks like
Ow.
he's been bleeding out of both nostrils.
I hate everyone. Oh, God.
Are you okay?
Oh, God, I haven't felt like this since basic. Oh, gods. It's like someone shoved a spike into my frontal lobe and just had a gay old time spinning it around.
All right, well, let's not read any more of the books in this house, okay?
Yeah, good idea.
Yes, please.
Oh, I think I forgot my elementary school days. Oh, jeez.
Was there anything else suspicious in that house? There was the compass, there were books. Was there anything else in there?
There seemed to be what looked like maybe charts on there, though with how quickly everything happened, you didn't get a good look.
I go back in to look at the charts, but not move or touch them.
Okay. As you go back to the door, as you try to open it, it's not opening this time. It's not locked, but it feels like there's some pressure on the other side. Doesn't feel like a lot of pressure, but it's not just opening like it was before. What would you like to do?
I pull harder.
Okay. It's a push.
Touch the door with the back of your
push
hand.
harder.
Yeah. As you do, it's not difficult to open. It's just a little more resistance than before. And as you do, you kind of get hit in the face with like a blast of wind. And as you open it up, the wind kind of blows your hair back for a little bit, and then kind of subsides. And you can see against the far wall, away from the table, the book is just sitting on the ground, not moving.
I'm gonna avoid the book. I'm gonna
Okay.
try and
Give it a wide berth.
very wide berth.
Okay.
I would go in with Gerald as well.
Okay.
Piqued my interest.
As you guys go in, you see on the table is a multitude of. Hold up. We may have Little Lucky back in just a second here.
Yeah!
And everything's back. Cool.
Hooray!
We hear the Windows music as he boots back up.
Oh, it's the Mac Bring.
Or how to update.
Don't you just hate it when it forces the update when you're not suspecting it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been putting it off for a week or two. It just forced it.
Oh God, that would have freaked me out if you had the dial tone coming out of your head.
Oh God.
as you could go in, you guys see on the table there are notes that seem to be written in common, and then there are charts. A lot of charts. Charts for the Southern Outlands. None of the charts are of any of the known sovereignty. They are all of the Southern Outlands. And Karen, with your experience sailing and navigating things like that, you can recognize that they're charts, but they are very, very hastily drawn and kind of very difficult for you to figure out, and you're having a hard time finding reference points.
Okay.
Zarian, on the other hand, being a cartographer,
Sure.
you recognize instantly that these are mapping charts. Effectively, these are charts that were written as someone was exploring an area, and they're not the greatest. Like you can see where they had to erase things because they got the scale wrong, and like whoever did this was not quite a trained cartographer. They were kind of doing what they could, but they make sense, and given enough time, you could probably figure them out.
Is anything circled or like X'd? Like,
Oh yeah, there's tons of the things.
Okay.
You'll see kind of circles, and then little notes that lead to notations in the notes that you see. So it looks like there's a fair amount of like cross-referencing into the things. Like whoever did this was studying whatever these charts were talking about. Really like this is academic level note taking.
How lit is the interior?
There are no lights. The only lights you have currently are coming from the window, which is partially obscured with curtains.
It's lit.
Lucky.
Well,
Can you,
anywhere that Karen is totally lit, but
Lucky, can you do me a favor and make this go away?
and
What are you pointing to?
yeah, I was about to say when you say this, what are you?
I'm like doing a gesture for the. I'm pointing at his weapon that I know what I've infused. Can you give us some light?
Oh, okay. And cast light on the tip of this halberd.
Actually,
Kind
you can
of
just do
taps
it
the
as a bonus
halberd and
action.
shing. You guys now have a bright light in the room.
Ah,
Oh,
dark vision.
thanks.
Dark vision.
Thanks.
And then I'll start studying over the maps. It's pretty amateur. I don't know who did them. You'll see
Smeg.
like I'll put on like a monocle that has like another monocle in front of it that I can use to like zoom in per se. And I'll start looking at it.
If you see anything that indicates where this person may have vanished off to, I need to know where my friends went. That's why I came here, but no one's here.
I will-
Smegwick is glowering at the book. Just
That's a good word.
Reggie is doing the exact same thing.
The book kind of flicks you off.
is it laying? Is it like laying like books? Is it closed or is it laying flat?
It is
flat down?
currently closed. And normally, it's a standard kind of leather-bound journal kind of a book. And normally, after opening it up, the cover would be kind of up a little bit because you would crease it. The book is completely closed. The cover is completely down. There's no air in the book. It's almost as if there was a weight on top of the book, weighing it down.
Like new college course book, new.
Yes.
I would just begin studying these charts to see if I can ascertain what they were trying to figure out or anything
With
pertaining to her question.
with the number of charts here and all the different notes, you don't think that's something you could discover in like a minute. You would need to sit down for a couple of hours with all these charts and notes to be able to kind of plot what course they took, because these are literally charts of an expedition into the southern Outlands, and they're not great charts. So you think it's very possible, but it's gonna take you a little bit at the time to do it.
Well, I hope you guys have a little while. This is going to take a bit.
It's the reason we're here, so.
Is there anything on the book, written on the book, a symbol, a title?
From what you can see, it is a leather-bound book. The leather is black leather, and that's it.
And I, from my experience, from what I just experienced firsthand,
you can't remember any of it.
I remember opening the book. I remember intense pain.
You remember opening the book, and then you remember waking up to a headless robot. There is nothing in between. You can still feel pain, so you kind of piece together that something painful happened, but everything that happened while the book was open is completely gone.
Because I guess what I'm wondering is if the book was just one giant booby trap left behind, or if it's something we need to utilize and we just need to have to suss it out.
That is a fantastic question.
Well, that's what, like, I was wondering if I could like roll Arcana or something on that.
You could roll. Sure, you could make an Arcana roll to see if you remember hearing about something similar to this item. But as far as like figuring out exactly what's going on, that's probably going to be a little bit beyond an Arcana roll.
Okay. Total of 19.
19. Okay, well, with a 19, you've heard of some wizards will use magic to keep notes, and the more paranoid ones, or the ones doing things that aren't always accepted by general society, have various ways to encrypt their notes. Sometimes it's as simple as basically a cipher where anyone without the magical key effectively would open it up, and sometimes it turns out gibberish. More powerful wizards will actually have the ability for their notes to read as a completely different text. Like their notes on necromancy might read as a recipe for bread. Things like that, depending on how good they are with these kind of...
like, unless you state, I solemnly swear I am up to no good, it doesn't appear.
Unless you either cast the right spell, or some of them are keyed to specific items that have a magical... effectively a magic key that will unlock it. So you are familiar with something that can make text read differently. And there are some wizards that add booby traps to their notes, sometimes to keep rivals from stealing them. Other times, it's actually a remarkably common thing for wizards to do as a punishment for apprentices that go places they're not supposed to. But those are generally just kind of a standard glyph that will go off and maybe cause a thunder wave to happen, or maybe cause a polymorph spell to go off and temporarily, relatively basic stuff. Whatever this book did is beyond anything you have ever heard of.
Smegwick goes back over, because he was able to hold the book, so and the book's closed again. He's gonna I'm gonna touch the book, because the glyph was over there. that went off, right?
No,
So-
no.
He's gonna go over and pick up the book. Not gonna open it. He's gonna pick the book up like last time. He's gonna warn everyone, I'm about to pick up the book. This is important. I understand I'm a glutton for punishment, but I will defeat this. And it's clearly whoever did this has a reason for having it. It's not just to be a jerk. Although this person, huge jerk.
Okay. Did you go over, pick up the book? You instantly open it up and start reading again.
I do not. I don't open it.
Nope.
I don't have a save.
No, you don't. I do need a wisdom save though.
God damn it.
Karen.
I am using my last inspiration because god dang it.
Karen
Is he within
grunts
10 feet of me?
and rolls her
At this
eyes.
point, he would be within 10 feet.
So you get +4 to your save.
Thank you. I love paladins.
Aren't paladins nice?
And I'm sorry. How much was that?
+4, he said.
+4. Sweet. Advantage. Using my last inspiration. Thank you, chat. Gonna need it. God dang it. No, it's gonna be the same as last time. 15 total.
Yep.
With that.
Oh no.
So again, as you pick it up, it is it feels completely natural. You pick it up, and without thinking, you just open it up. And as soon as you open it up, you go shit, and then you see the words. And again, they start off as this kind of really nice prose story about this kid who has a dog, and it starts describing the dog, and then it starts going bar-rar, boo-boo, goo-goo, goo-goo, scooby-dooby-doo, where are you? And at that point, you
Dang
are
it, Jody.
locked in.
God dang it, Jody. I wasn't gonna open the book.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like once something is turned on, things change. So, yeah, you guys you hear him start mumbling again. Those of you that are close, you guys start feeling that kind of sick feeling in the pit of your stomach. I will have Karen, Zarian, and Lucky. I need you all to make con saves for me.
Guys.
I warned everyone before I didn't make the grab.
Are we all within 10 feet of Lucky?
Yes, you would all be within 10 feet of Lucky.
Small hut.
Because then that makes my 14 and 18.
Okay. So, if anyone doesn't know, add 4 to whatever you roll because Lucky is a paladin.
Okay. 24.
Yeah, you're fine.
That's 18 for me as well.
All right, all of you guys feel your muscles start to seize, and you just kind of shake it off.
I yell. I just exclaim out loud since I know he can't hear me. If it wouldn't hurt me, I would hit him.
I warned everyone before I did what I did.
Yeah, well, we still have to get you out of this now again. Or, plot twist, we leave the book, Smedwick to the book. Let him have it.
Smegwick
Lucky
is now
says, okay,
book.
and walks out of the room.
No.
This is gonna end one. This is gonna end one of two ways, and you're gonna see a friggin' Dagon is gonna be outside.
It could be the king in yellow. You never know.
Can we just destroy the book and move on?
Thing is how
Reggie,
my-
are you able to do
Owie,
that?
you do remember when you hit the book, it wasn't immune to your spell. Like, it did damage. It just seems to be tougher than a regular book.
Okay, then I'm going to use a stronger spell, like Chromatic Orb.
The book I'm holding.
Yeah.
Yes!
Do it.
I'll say it's a large enough book that you can aim for it without too much difficulty.
Okay.
Roll a 1, I dare you.
Especially with your kind of academic background, like you were taught spell sniping and the things like that. Like not enough to have the spell sniper for feet, but you're
Not yet.
What an interesting definition of academic you have, Jody.
Well, she literally went to school to
Military
be an
academy.
Eldritch Knight. So
It's not the first thing I think of when I think of academy.
Can I use my channel inspiration?
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Whenever you want to, if you've got it, you can use it.
Okay. 19 then.
19. Yeah. You sit there and you form your chromatic orb. What flavor of orb are you making?
Fire!
Fire. So you sit there and you guys watch as she kind of concentrates, and you watch as this ball of fire appears in her
Hilarious.
hands, and it gets larger and larger, and she sits there and she fires it forward, and this ball of fire goes. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay. 9. 10 points of fire.
All right. So as the chromatic orb hits it, you guys hear another kind of ear-shattering thunder strike, and the book gets another scorch mark on it. You're starting to see some of the pages themselves are starting to burn and crack. The cover itself is looking kind of more worn.
My hand, so I'm still locked on it though.
Mhm.
Didn't get knocked out of my hand.
Nope. Right now, you're discovering the secrets of the universe.
Oh, not
And
sure. what
surprising
it'll
enough,
do.
it involves thetans. It's weird.
I'm not sure what it'll do. Seeing Aoi do that with her spell, I'll
Mhm.
take 2 shots with my crossbow.
Oh, that will be. Question for you. Because of the infusion, that's technically magic ammo, right?
Yes, it becomes a magic weapon, quote unquote, and I don't need ammo.
And what kind of damage? It still does the regular piercing damage.
I believe, but I can double check.
Go ahead and look at it. Make sure it doesn't change the damage type, because that'll change how the things work.
Well, the app gives me like a rudimentary thing. I can check on D&D Beyond itself, but it just says makes it a +1.
Okay, no, that's fine. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
Smegwick's things are getting wilder and wilder now. It's just like, there are advantage and disadvantage. Sometimes a special ability or spell tells you what you have advantage or disadvantage ability check. I'm saving throw. Just
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art both more.
no, his brain is breaking the fourth wall. He's reading the. I was reading from the player's handbook.
Oh yeah, and you quit the Player's Handbook. You're now on Shakespeare. Pretty soon, you're going to be on Ginsberg.
And everything that he's reading, he's doing with the speed and the diction of a Texas auctioneer.
So 20.
Oh,
19,
definitely.
9.
If
Both
you're
are
above
120.
20.
Okay. Oh, I think it does make it force damage. I'll have to double check. It's either force or piercing.
I've got it right here. I will look because
Okay.
normally I wouldn't actually care. However,
I think you said it was force, if I remember
I
correctly.
think so. I don't know why the app would exclude that tidbit, but
infusion. What's the infusion called again?
repeating shot.
Repeating shot.
Either way, it's a combined total of 24.
All right. No, produces zone, automatically creating one piece of magic energy when you make a ranged attack with it. Yep, doesn't say anything about changing it. So it just conjures magic bolts. So you fire to 2 in. You set a total of 24.
Yes.
Okay, so the 2 bolts stick into the book itself, which causes the pages to start tearing. And you guys watch as this is Smegwick, the tears running down his eyes are starting to change color from clear to the tears to kind of black.
Ooh.
No. Another chromatic orb, right now.
Go for it.
Come on. No! It's a 10, 9.
Okay. So as you conjure the other chromatic orb and you fire it off, it goes just a little bit wide, and it hits the wall behind him.
All right, that's it. I'm bringing out the big guns. How far away is Smegwick right now?
You are far enough away that you didn't have to make a roll, so he's at least 20 feet away from you.
Okay. I walk up 5 feet, so now it's just 15 feet between us.
Mm-hmm.
And I just go, Smeggy, if you can hear me right now, please know I'm legitimately sorry for this. And I cast Thunder Wave.
Okay. Smegwick, go ahead and make a con save. And the book will make a con save.
The book makes a con save!
Well, anything that you gets attacked by the spell has to make a con save. I will say it doesn't have a Constitution score, so it got a 3.
Total with the paladin, that'll be 16.
Okay.
Smegwick resists, the book does not.
Yes. Go ahead and roll your damage. Thunder damage is a kind of a unique one for the book.
Let's see.
As you hit, Miss Mega goes, Mia Sparrows Kaikiam vi Venus lav Vetora estos milda. Points if you know what I just said, if anyone gets that reference.
I know I've heard that before, but I have
Well, roll
can't
damage.
place it.
Roll damage. We can figure out what Latin he spoke in just a second.
That wasn't Latin.
Was it Italian or Spanish?
Oh,
it was Esperanto.
Esperanto. Oh!
Okay, so that is a total of 7 damage.
7 damage. That's just enough. So as you sit there and you shoot this thunder wave, the rest of the group that was kind of in the way has to kind of jump out of the way.
Sure.
Am I taking half damage?
You will take a half damage, yes.
So much as that, sorry.
I just aim my hands right at Smegwick. I say I'm
it
sorry,
was-
and I just do like the Hulk slap right at him.
Okay. 7 damage, so half of that is the 3.
3. Okay.
So you see this wave of sound go after he collapses. After he claps. And Smegwick, you feel the book get ripped from your hands as it gets pinned against the wall and just kind of disintegrates from the force of the thunder wave. Again, Smegwick, you collapse, you melt into a puddle of bones and muscle.
It's cold outside, there's no kind of atmosphere.
Oh my god, I actually killed something for the first time in this campaign.
It was a book.
It was a book!
As that happens, the rest of you, that pit in your stomach just disappears. And you notice the room itself seems lighter. You notice the dust on everything seems a lot less. And you don't really see all the cobwebs that were everywhere. Like, you can see a couple in corners, but like the whole room just seems less foreboding.
Great.
Huh.
Well, thank you, Reggie, and
I know it wasn't a smart decision. I had to play the character a little bit. Because I wanted to fuck.
I go over and just like pull Smegwick up and put him on his feet. Whether he stays there or not, I don't know.
Dude, I just fall back down.
As she picks you up and kind of pins you against the wall to kind of get you there, you start waking up again.
Spitwit comes over and starts wing slapping. Like,
You look into the face of your captain, who looks pissed. But you feel your legs underneath you, and you kind of catch yourself before she drops you.
My tongue tastes like a thesaurus.
I do not care right now. Is there anything else? Should we bother trying to take these maps? And I look at Tharian, or I'm afraid to touch anything in here.
Oh, I mean, aside from this, their abysmal penmanship, I think they're fine.
Okay. Well, should we take these somewhere else, even though this place seems a little better now that the book is gone?
The book's gone?
The book is gone.
And when you say gone, Smegwick, you kind of look around. You feel this kind of instant panic come over you, going, shit, my book's gone. And you look around. There is nothing. There is no dust. There is no nothing.
You cursed me? God damn it.
And you can't 100% understand why you care, but you feel this sense of loss for this book. And then very quickly you're just like, what? And it goes away.
I was a son of a bitch.
Realize I never got your guys' names.
Smegwick. Little
Karen.
dragon guy's my buddy Spitwit.
I'm Karen.
I'm Reginald Masterson Aberdeen Miles III, but you can call me Reggie.
Yeah, we just call him Reggie.
I will just call you Reggie. That's a lot easier. I
Very
am Zarian.
And you are?
Point to the guy with the pole arm. This is Lucky. He doesn't like to talk too much, but he's really handy to have around.
It's nice to meet you. I'm sorry that we drug you into this nonsense.
Who's the other thing? That person? Construct?
Oh, that's it's just something I've been working on. It's kind of just been us for a while, so I kind of made help. He just assists me. The whole face thing I know can be a little off-putting, but
Does it have a name?
I call him Gerald.
All right. Nice to meet you, Gerald.
He just turns and the face is just that still smiling, still image.
That's unsettling.
I ran out of materials and I tried to make do.
Sure.
Zazarian, you do know of a local tavern that you've spent a fair amount of time. They know you that they're there. When you are between jobs, you generally go there for a drink, and they have nice large tables where you can do your map making when you need to, or your other kind of archaeological studying. So you know if you needed to study something, you could probably go there without too much difficulty. And because it's kind of mid-morning, you know it's going to be relatively empty right now.
Well, I just so happen to know the perfect place, and I'll start picking up all the maps and pull out an empty container to store them in from my bag. You could lead the way if you aren't familiar.
We just got here, so
Yeah.
lead the way.
Gerald, lead the
Drinks
way.
call our names.
And just to clarify, Joe, it's just it was Compass book, one book, and maps.
There was a few other, like there was some pencils and other stuff that you would see on like a cartographer's table. So you had a compass and a straight edge, and
It was like just the one journal, and then everything else.
yeah, that was the only. There are loose leaf notes all over the table, and then the various charts. There was a total of 7 charts.
So I will have Gerald lead us back to the tavern I was at.
Okay. So as you
As we go, Allie bringing out the rear starts to. That dust has been really getting to her, and she faces the entrance. And I was a lightning brush sneeze. Right in
so
there.
as you guys are going, you just see Aoi sneeze, and then
Bless me. Let's go.
Sorry? Is that normal?
I mean, she's
First
like
time
a
I've seen that.
dragon, so that makes sense. Just be careful with those sneezes on the ship, right?
There is a Power Rangers emote that I was unaware of.
That's always been there. Yeah.
All right, sorry. So yeah, you guys kind of it takes you about 10 minutes to get to the Lazy Sunset is the name of the tavern. And as they come in, there's a kind of lanky elven gentleman behind the counter, and as he comes in, he's like, "Hey, Zarian, how are you doing? The usual. We got your table all set up."
Thank you. And I'll just go and start pulling out all the maps or charts.
And within about 2 minutes, he comes over with a flagon full of relatively strong tea, and some biscuits that are a little bit old, so they're kind of a little more crunchy than soft, but still very edible. Did you want anything for your friends? I know your tall one doesn't eat much, but these other ones look fleshy enough.
I don't know. Do you guys want anything?
Thank
Yeah, good
you.
tea.
I'll have some tea.
I'll have a scotch if they have it.
Of course.
Cider if you have it, please.
Can do. What about you? And he turns. I keep forgetting I'm looking directly at you, but you can't see that. He turns to Smegwick. Anything for you? I have some more protein fulfilled options. I know.
Anything, just anything soothing would be appreciated. I'm rocking a headache.
Soothing. Well, we could give you some black broth. I know quite a few.
Tea will be fine.
Not a problem. Let me go. Brutus. And you guys feel the ground shake. As you see the door to the kitchen open up, and you see two horns poke out. And then you see this kind of very large nose and this fur-covered face, and a minotaur walks out. You ring. These folks are gonna need a little more space. Can you move one of those tables over? Zarian likes to take up his space, and the rest of these fine people are gonna need a place to rest their mugs. Okay. And he
Brutus
grabs this very large table, and you hear him just. He brings it over, and he looks up, and you see this big grin split his face. Hi, Lucky.
I will, while they're doing that, have spread out the various maps, charts, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Pulled out my calligraphy kit, my cartographer's kit, and just began working.
Mm-hmm. So for the next, go ahead and make me a check with your cartographer's kit.
And that was intelligence, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I have expertise with these, so... Oh, I can do math. 20... Sorry, it's plus 11, 18 plus 11, 29.
There we go.
Rain.
So the montage starts, and he starts, moving, and as we do a time lapse of him doing all this, you see him sipping and coughing and that. It takes him just barely under an hour to figure out all this stuff. As you guys are kind of, sipping your tea. He is completely absorbed into these for that hour. But you do have Lucky there if you wanted to talk to him, or is there anything else you guys want to do? You have an hour.
I mean, I guess Karen just would try and get to know Zarian more if we're gonna be.
Well, Zarian is unavailable.
That's right. He's
totally in these maps, but
got it.
Lucky,
okay.
You can talk to.
No, I'm gonna respect Lucky's I don't talk to people situation. I guess I'll just hang out and drink my tea and
it's remarkably good tea. It's black tea, and it's made pretty strong, but it's got a nice good quality. It tastes fresh.
Hey, Captain.
Yeah.
The maybe I don't know if you be safe, but you want to ask the keeper if describe any crew to him, see if he recognizes if that's where they were staying.
Sure. Oh, yes. Thank you. That's very wise. I will ask him
Thank you.
about.
My frontal lobe's starting to work again.
I will ask about the address and what he knows about the address and if he knew the people that were staying there.
That's an interesting one. Let's see. That whole area hasn't really been popular for a few months now. There was a strange fellow stayed there for about a week. But then he just got up and left. He never really came in. I had other people, other regulars that spoke about him, but he seemed to very much enjoy his solitude.
And it was just one gentleman.
That's what they told me. Again, I never met the man.
Did they ever tell you what he looked like?
He seemed to be, let's just see, about 5'6", human if I remember correctly. Kinda sandy blonde hair and very much kept to himself. Few of us around these parts, we like to say hello to people while walking on the street. He didn't like to say much back. You might get an acknowledgement, or maybe he might just back away slowly, but he's not quite as friendly as most folks are around here.
All right.
The
Thank you.
physical description he gave you doesn't sound like any of your former crew, though.
Sure.
Quiet guy who keeps to himself is usually how most police reports turn out. Quiet guy, kept to himself. Not the kind of guy you would think would have 12 people in his fruit cellar.
Yeah, well, this might be the guy that made my crew disappear, but I don't understand why we were sent here. Nothing makes sense. None of this makes sense.
Sorry I couldn't help you more.
Oh, no. Thank you.
Maybe a refill on your tea? Nice
No, thank
cup
you.
of tea can make things a little bit more bearable.
Not even
Sure.
breaking concentration. I just hold up my glass.
Yeah, and he comes over and he gives you some more tea, and he refills this is your mug, Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if the book was the worst thing that was in there, we could always try going back there and really turning the place over, looking for hidden things, nooks, crannies, that kind of thing. We were kind of on the surface level when we were in there, or you guys were. I still can't remember what.
You got possessed by a book.
Yeah. That's what happened. I don't know. I mean, does anyone else think if that sounds like a good idea or not? If some people in town... Excuse me, sir. Could you point us to anywhere where people would have seen him and might know more?
Well, there's
Wizards need magic stuff.
Well,
Components
there's
and
a
so forth.
shop nearby. If he wasn't getting his food here, if he had to get it from somewhere, he would have had to go to the shop. So they might know a little more about it. It's about a block down the street. Big old sign has a big hog on it. It's called the Hog's Head.
Hog's Head. Okay. We could check out the Hog's Head.
Proprietor's name is Sylvester. Just tell him Sister Simon sent you. He'll give you whatever you need.
Simon sent us to Sylvester.
That's right.
That's
All right.
Alrighty.
Are we all ready to...
At this point, it's been about 25 minutes since he started, so you guys have another half an hour of effectively before he's going to be done.
Well, we could go while he susses that out. Unless you want to stay here.
I mean, I'd rather not leave the only person who knows their way around here, but I'm happy to just sip my tea while he waits. You gave us quite enough excitement for a while, so...
Did I?
Not very eager to...
yes.
I remember getting a massive headache.
I wasted 2 spell slots. Out of 3.
I am down to 7 hit points.
So, you don't have any tea with healing properties, do you?
I don't tend to keep healing potions here in the tavern. Not much market for them, but if you go closer to the docks, they sell all manner of supplies. With all the expeditions going out.
Just to make the point, would you say, since it's about an hour, an hour's short rest?
Yeah, you could treat this as a short rest.
Okay.
I will roll a hit point.
So, as the hour kind of ticks to a close, Zarian, you're a little bit more impressed now than when you started, because you realize these aren't poorly taken notes. These are encrypted charts that are specifically written to look like they were written by an amateur, but these were created by someone very well versed in cartography. And however, they couldn't hold a candle to you.
Of course.
And after sussing it out, you are able to kind of plot a course. The particular area of the southern outlands that this expedition that was charted went to is quite literally in the middle of nowhere. In your time going out there, you've actually gone past this area, and no one ever goes into this part of the Southern Outlands because there's nothing there. It's a relatively large expanse with no islands. So if something goes wrong with a ship or the wind dies down or something, you can get stranded there too far away from the land and be in relatively deep trouble. So, but to your knowledge, there's nothing there. Like, people have gone out and they've mapped the area, and there's just nothing there.
Just so I'm not repeating what you just said, I'll relay that to them and be like, there's nothing out there. Why are they interested, whoever this is?
I relay the information to him about my crew disappeared. My entire crew disappeared while we were at port, and at our last stay, I saw one of my former crew members, only he appeared to be in a zombie-like state. And when I left, a note saying help me or help, and that address was on it. So I'm just trying to find my crew, and I don't know if the guy who did it is the guy who lived here, or if he's another victim, or if he's the only person that can help. I'm going off very little, and I am not a smart half-orc barbarian.
Oh, you were smart enough to hire me.
I was just that smart.
And now I'm regretting.
Well, it just so happens to that me and Lucky here, we would love to leave this place. I would love nothing more than to leave this place. Please take us with you. I don't care.
If it's not too personal, why haven't you?
I don't have my own ship. They're very expensive and, well...
No, I mean hooking a ride.
I don't know. I think, and I'll point to Gerald, I think that scares people away. You know, on second thought, and I'll just reach in there, and you just watch me. Lucky, can you help? Just to ask if Lucky can lift me up. And then
Which I do.
Just press inside the base of where his mouth would be, and then just the hologram disappears.
I feel that's like a lateral problem.
It was just temporary until I got more material. It's kind of expensive to get metal in random parts.
Well, we have a ship, and we have a very small crew, so I would very much appreciate your help aboard our ship. And with this strange adventure, I don't even know where to start with.
I would point out, if you're going into the Southern Outlands, you'll need a good cartographer, and Zarian here is one of the best. You don't want to go getting lost out there.
Absolutely.
And he kind of turns towards Zarian and gives him a wink.
I'll just have Gerald go over, and Gerald, not so subtly, just palms him a gold coin.
And he just takes it without any hint of deception or anything. Just takes it, puts it in his pocket, goes back to cleaning.
Gotta work on your subtlety, Gerald.
Yes. Any thoughts from the current crew?
It's pretty, given what he said, it's pretty smart to have him with us right now.
Be nice to know where we're going.
Love to know where we're going. Yes. Well,
I'm the only one that eats, so it's not like you need 3 more mouths to feed, so there's that.
Very true, very true. Well, welcome aboard, Zarian, Lucky, and Gerald, is it?
Yeah.
Welcome to the crew.
And with that, that is where we are going to end it for tonight. As always, if you missed any of the episode, I do upload all of them to my YouTube channel, to youtube.com/TrainerJody. Go ahead and check it out. This episode will go up on Sunday, and all the other episodes are there, as well as my other campaign, The Legend of the Three Kingdoms. So check both of those out. Otherwise, again, that is all for me today, and I will see you guys next time. All right?
Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.